Welcome back to the Choose Right podcast, everyone. Today we're asking a question that cuts right to the core of love. Does true loyalty in relationships really exist?
And if it does, how can you spot it before you get blindsided by betrayal? Because let's be real, we've all heard the stories. The partner who seemed perfect, who swore they'd never stray, and then one day they did.
Exactly. I was actually talking with a friend recently, and she told me, maybe it doesn't matter who you end up with. The result is always the same. She's been through her longest dating dry spell ever, just tired of meeting people who can't stay consistent.
Oof. And she's not alone. That fatigue is everywhere. People wonder, is loyalty just a fantasy, or are there real patterns we can actually trust?
Today we're breaking it down. We'll look at 5 signs of loyal partners, and more importantly, we'll talk about how loyalty isn't just a personality trait. It's also something you can build together.
Let's start with the first sign. Loyal people enjoy intimacy, but they also value their own space.
Right. A lot of people think loyalty equals clinginess. Like if your partner wants to be with you 24/7, they must be loyal.
But actually, that can be a red flag. I knew a guy once who was the super clingy boyfriend type. At first, it looked like love, but when his girlfriend couldn't match his intensity, he started seeking attention from others.
Exactly. The healthiest loyalty usually comes from people who feel secure on their own. They love being with you, but they also don't panic when you're not around. That balance creates trust. Second sign. Loyal people can find joy in daily life.
Yeah, these are the people who don't need constant novelty to stay committed. For them, routine isn't boring, it's grounding.
I had a friend whose relationship fizzled out after 6 months because her partner said, "It just feels too predictable." Meanwhile, another couple I know has been doing the same Friday pizza and movie night for 12 years, and they're thriving.
That's the difference. If someone can love you in the quiet, ordinary moments, not just the fireworks, that's a big marker of loyalty. Third sign. They give commitments you can actually measure.
Right. Vague promises like "I'll never upset you again" sound romantic but are impossible to keep.
Whereas if someone says, "I'll pick you up after work at 6," and then consistently shows up, that's gold. That's how you know their word has weight.
Exactly. And when that person promises fidelity, it's not a sweet nothing. It's a decision they've already mapped out in their head. They've considered what it means and chosen to live by it. Fourth, loyal people tend to have a stable sense of identity.
That's huge. People who don't know who they are swing between extremes. Either they give up everything for a partner and then resent it, or they chase validation from multiple people.
Self-esteem plays into this. Those who think "I'm not enough" might cheat to prove they still matter, and narcissistic types might cheat just to keep their ego fed.
But someone with a solid sense of self doesn't need those outside hits of approval. They can invite you into their world without losing themselves.
And finally, number 5, loyal people are often a bit idealistic about love.
I love this, because loyalty isn't logical. From a rational perspective, it doesn't always serve self-interest. You're limiting your options, making sacrifices, sometimes taking harder paths.
Which means the people who stay faithful are often the ones who still believe in capital L love. They've got that romantic streak that says, even if it's hard, it's worth it.
A little unrealistic optimism goes a long way in keeping someone committed.
But here's the important piece. Even if someone doesn't naturally tick all 5 boxes, loyalty isn't just something you either have or you don't. It can be cultivated.
Exactly. Relationships are like training grounds. There are conditions that make loyalty stronger, and we've got 3 big ones. First, boundaries.
And not just "don't cheat" boundaries. Boundaries about what both people consider loyal. For example, one partner might think grabbing coffee alone with an ex is harmless, while the other sees it as betrayal.
If you never talk about it, resentment builds. But when couples clarify those lines, loyalty stops being vague and starts being real.
Second, it's about how you handle conflict.
Yeah, because every couple fights. But research shows the difference is in how. When you argue to win to prove you're right, loyalty erodes. But when you argue to solve, to understand each other, loyalty deepens.
I love that. It's about shifting from me versus you to us versus the problem. That shift builds safety, and safety fuels loyalty. And third, shared goals.
This is the secret glue. You don't have to agree on everything, but if you both believe the relationship can grow even when it's tough, you create a foundation for loyalty.
I actually know a couple who are the perfect example. Neither of them was naturally loyal at first. One had never lasted more than 3 months in a relationship. The other had a track record of cheating.
That sounds like a recipe for disaster.
That's what everyone thought. But 3 years later, they're the couple people point to as role models. Why? Because they both agreed, this is hard now, but it'll get better. They committed to growth, not just comfort.
That's loyalty in action. It's not about being flawless. It's about building something you both want to fight for.
So, here's the takeaway. Loyalty isn't magic. It's a mix of personal traits and the environment you create together.
Some people are naturally more consistent, sure, but even if you or your partner don't check all the boxes, the good news is loyalty can be trained, like a muscle.
So, ask yourself, am I making my relationship a space where loyalty thrives? Or am I accidentally making it harder?
And remember, loyalty isn't just about not leaving. It's about creating a love worth staying in.
All right, that's our deep dive for today. If this episode gave you new perspective, share it with someone who needs to hear it.
And don't forget to subscribe. We've got more conversations like this coming your way. Thanks for listening.